everyone. Welcome all to another edition of the CIPH Young Executive Society Coffee and Tea Interviews. My name is Matt Cameron. I am a marketing supervisor at Desco Plumbing and Heating Supply. Um, I am very, very happy and graciously joined today by the wonderful Diana DiCarlo, who is now with Groupe de Chêne, but formerly with Desco. We're very, very happy to have her on the show today. Diana, do you want to introduce yourself and quickly go through a little bit of the acumen in the industry, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, my name is Diana DiCarlo, and currently I am the BSL, which is a business stream lead for Groupe de Chêne, working on a operational project with regards to our systems. Previously, I joined Desco back in 2014, so I'm coming up on my 10 years with Group/Desco. I was hired on initially as a showroom manager, retail manager, that later developed into retail division manager and marketing manager. So taking over both of those departments overall. In that period of 10 years, we have seen a couple of moves, two showroom makeovers and one full-on build, design, concept to creation. So it's been quite a diverse 10 years to say the least. And just so we're all aware, my educational background is I'm a BA from McMaster in communications, modern languages, linguistics. So communication is my key, sales is my core, and of course, beautiful things.
And trilingual. Don't be too humble. Trilingual, everybody. French, English, and Italian. Very, very impressive. I can barely speak English properly, so that's something to be proud of.
Thank you for that. But
Okay, so once again, thank you for taking the time today, Diana. We're gonna do some quick this or that questions. I figured a fun twist would be for me to guess your answer, but we're not gonna do that just because I am lucky enough to have been managed by you for a little over a year and a bit. So I'll let you take the floor once I ask the question. I'm not gonna guess the answer before you answer. I'll try to pick some fun ones here. We got a good list.
you can always do the Johnny Carson. This is before your time, Matt, but there was a late night host that used to write the answer on a piece of paper, stick it on the envelope. He would don a gypsy's or this hat, and he would guess what your answer would be after you gave it. He would open up the envelope and match it up, and it was always quite funny. It was the Great Carsini, if you want to look it up for some old-timey good TV.
I wish I knew before. I would have got the hat ordered from Amazon. That would have been some good preparation. Okay, so let's start off nice and easy. Breakfast or dinner?
Both.
I was gonna guess you were gonna say dinner.
I'm a huge foodie, so it's really hard to say because there's some fabulous breakfasts out there that it's the first thing you want in the morning, but dinner, my God, the possibilities are endless.
Yep. Okay. Pool or hot tub?
Neither. Unless the pool is saltwater pool.
Saltwater pool. Great choice. Great choice. I was gonna say private, not a public area as well, because I think we both would get a little bit of an ick from that. So
yeah.
Okay, pizza or sushi?
Pizza.
Choice. Let's see here. Cats or dogs?
All but dogs.
Okay. Sleep in or early riser?
Early riser. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day, and let's go.
Beautiful.
Not much time to waste. I don't believe in wasting time, so.
And you can sleep when you're dead, so why would you
I say that all the time. That is my personal motto.
I've heard you say it. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna get into a little bit of a deeper, longer questions. Feel free to answer as long or as short as you like, completely up to you. So in your life, career, personal, whatever that may be, what does success truly look like to you, and what should other people kind of imagine or envision when they think of success as a whole?
That's a really interesting question because success can be measured in so many ways. But I think when you say your own personal success, I think you have to compartmentalize that a little bit and say, how would you measure your success in your career? Because success at home and success with friends and success in the industry in general can look very different one to the other. So, for example, in my career, I would say a huge success was doing the showroom build from concept, having an idea and a picture in my head to then seeing it come together, build, and be ready for a big party product launch. That is a huge testament to a success that I would say is measurable. The unmeasurable parts of success or immeasurable would be growing and developing people and staff. How I work with everyone in the company, whether they're in my department or in my stream or not, it's irrelevant to me. We all play a very important part to the success of our companies so that we can make profits, so that we can get paid. And everyone is a contributor to that. So in my philosophy, success is when everyone on the team is contributing their 100%. Right. And that to me is doing that by example and leading your people around you so that we are focused on the same goal to get to that measurable success as well. But it's also the personal development that comes from that too. So those are my two big things. Like,
Very well said. Very well said. Okay. Moving on the topic of success, let's stay on there just for a second. In your mind, what attributes or things that someone can be excellent at would contribute to a successful leader? Not just being successful, but how do you, as someone who's led many different teams of different sizes, teams of different functions, what do you think is a key factor or a key personality trait to have or to practice on when being a successful leader?
number one is listen. Listen, listen, listen 4 times more than you speak. Your people are telling you what they want. It's your job to determine whether or not it's what they should have based on if it aligns with the company goals, of course. But really listen to them because they know they are your front line. They are the ones who are giving you data. They are the ones that are affecting your most important thing, which is our clients. So listen is huge. Number two, don't ask of them what you wouldn't do yourself. To ask somebody to come in on a Saturday or stay late or do this sale or do this extra project or stay, if you're not willing to put in that same kind of work and effort and time, then do not ask that of others because that is a big ask.
Oh, great points. Great points. I think some fantastic answers too, because I know a lot of the people that will be enjoying this interview will be people that are aspiring leaders or maybe in a middle management role and looking to kind of refine those skills. I think it's definitely two very good tips.
And as a leader, I would just want to add that it's your responsibility to continue to brush up on your own leadership skills. So whether you are carving out an hour a week or you start your morning with a reading or a study, or you're just starting your morning routine and your drive into work is sharpening your leadership skills so that you can employ them right away. That's one of the things that I find that maybe in leadership is lacking sometimes is that you'll learn a lot of great tools and tips and tricks and add things to toolboxes, but do you deploy them? Right. So it's
Oh,
it's holding yourself responsible to being a good leader as well.
yeah, absolutely. And just to add on to that point you said about listening too, there's a very cheesy yet philosophical quote I've heard, and it's there's a reason why we have two ears and one mouth. You should
Absolutely. That's a
listen more
great
than you
one.
talk.
Right.
Okay. Moving on. This is a tough question, but I like it, and it's I'm excited to kind of put you on the spot a little bit, and I think you should have a good ground to stand on here because of Desco as a whole and the way Desco functions. It's very relative to this. Question is, how do you manage teams with varying age groups?
You'd be surprised. I think it's a matter of learning the individual. Age has
Mm,
nothing to do with it. And anyone who thinks that, oh, it's a generational thing. Yes, there are generational studies that have generalities that we can focus on and kind of guide some guiding principles around. However, I have never met two similar people in how they perform at work that were of the same age. So to me, age is irrelevant. Get to know your individual person and what their strengths and weaknesses are. See what you need to train on more. See where you should guide them. Maybe it's a role change and they flourish. So
mm.
maybe it's they're not in the right role for them, or maybe you're underutilizing the skills that they come with. Imagine that the person that you're dealing with, that they might be later in age, but they have tons of experience in a variety of topics that we could deploy in the role that they have or move them into a different role that uses those skills. Hence why it's like, you know what? Age doesn't matter. Talk to the individual, find your common ground, and the common ground is the task that they all need to perform. And then from there, find how best that person can execute it.
Damn, very well said. Being put on the spot, that was a great answer, I gotta say.
Thanks.
Um, but to add on to that question, I might kind of prod a little further. What mistakes do you think are often made in that regard when it comes to managing people of different groups?
Yeah, assuming everybody is of the same understanding. A great thing to really highlight in this response is technology. Technology for some is very intimidating and they will do everything to avoid it. So something as simple as a cut and paste is a challenge. Then there are other people that can write code. So understanding where everyone is first before you introduce things and lead them and teach them stuff so that you can pivot and adjust what you're doing to that person so that they find the most success. If you don't, you're going to find that your people will not adapt to change as easily as they could adapt if you don't do your pre-work ahead of time. So mistakes done, as that was the original question, that would be it. It would be bringing some new technology or a new policy or new process in place and not considering the change impact that it would have on different employees. So.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely some good advice there. I think maybe my second last question here. If you were in a position where you're promoting someone, regardless of age, what are some of the most key factors you would consider when promoting someone, whether it's to a middle management role, to just a higher role where they're not managing anyone else, but just promoting in general? What are some key factors you see when it comes to promoting? Is it engagement? Is it how seriously they take the work? Are they cordial? Are they always on time? What kind of things are you looking for?
I think that depends on the role that you're hiring for and the role that you're developing for in terms of growing within the company. We all have heard stories of people that started in the warehouse and worked their way up to a presidency position. Those days I feel are, those stories are fewer. we don't hear those stories as often today. And in
Yeah.
fact, today it's actually frowned upon that you see that. We want to see people moving from company to company, learning new skills, new environments, etc. So what that tells us is that the person needs to be flexible. It needs to be quick learning. They need to be the right characteristics, like core personality characteristics. Are they dedicated? Are they resourceful? Are they a team player? Are they caring and genuine and honest? Those things are hugely important in sales and in dealing with your colleagues and whatnot. Then we want to make sure they have core competencies that you gain, but do you have the experience behind it as well? Resourcefulness is key in our industry because, as you know, with construction of any type or manufacturing of any type, things happen and delays happen and pressure is there. And in a highly stressful, high pressure industry like plumbing and heating, a person who can deal with stress, multitask, be able to prioritize when to react and take the seriousness of the job with everything that they do, because we are dealing with legal, we're dealing with laws, we're dealing with people's homes, we're dealing with environments, we're providing spaces for seniors, children. So when you think about the responsibility of all of that, yeah, we need a serious person in the role as well who takes it as importantly as what it is.
Awesome. Great answer. Okay. My last question here, which is one of my favorite questions, and I was actually asked this in a Young Executive Society spotlight, and I'm curious because I want to hear your answer to it. I think you'll have a good one, especially given your time in the industry now. Is what do you think? It's kind of a two-parter. What do you think, A, the biggest misconceptions of the industry are, and B, what has the industry taught you that no other industry has in regards to, like you said, just the last question, being dynamic, knowing when to react? What are some of those key lessons you've learned from the industry? And what would you tell someone from the industry who's entering it or thinking of entering it? Those would be my main two questions. Bit of a
Okay,
mouthful.
so that was a huge mouthful. So if
Yes,
you
it
can go
was.
back to your first question, I'll answer that one, then I'll do the second one.
Okay.
So that first question again.
It was, um, what were some of the key lessons this industry has taught you?
The key lessons is that I've learned is relationships mean a lot because we deal with a lot of moving parts. Sometimes those parts don't go as smooth as they should.
Mm.
So you need to rely on those relationships, whether it's through your manufacturer, whether it's your sales rep, whether it's the wholesaler, whether it's a colleague. We need to make sure that you know, when things don't go smoothly, that you've got people that you can rely upon to help you with this. It is a very collaborative industry, and I think a lot of people don't know that. I think they associate the industry with being on the tools and physical labor, but they don't see all of the other engineering, design and development, testing and quality assurance, market research to find out what people want, marketing. There's so much more to this industry that isn't necessarily highlighted when you first hear, oh, I work in plumbing. The first thing people think of is, oh, plumbing, toilets, sinks, faucets. But quite, that's a part, a very small part. And I think that's the biggest surprising thing you asked me is like, what surprised you the most? One of the key things was number one, it's never boring. In 10 years, I've never been bored.
Yep.
And also in 10 years, I've always had more to do than I had time to do. And so there's never a lack of work. There's never a lack of opportunity to grow up in the industry if you want to develop into a different position or role. You start here and you want to go into purchasing, or maybe you want to go into manufacturing, or maybe you want to go into selling, or maybe you want to go into procurement. There's so many opportunities to really spread your wings and see what suits you best. You really don't have to go outside of the industry if you have some sort of personal interest. Like if you love building websites, well, guess what? Plumbing and heating industry requires a lot of websites. So that's kind of what I'm saying is don't discount the industry because you have this impression that it's on the tools, on a job site, when meanwhile it's a huge machine. It's a beast that requires a lot of different people with a lot of diverse thought.
No, very well said. I could not agree more. I also think to add on to your answer too, if I may, I would even say that the information you learn while in the industry helps you out so much in your real life. You know what I mean? Having that knowledge of mechanics, bathrooms, just the parts, seeing a pipe and knowing what it's used for, right? Seeing a construction site, knowing what they're doing on the site. So many factors like that affect you in your day-to-day life, and it's good to have that kind of background knowledge tucked in there. And even in our roles, sales, marketing, showroom manager, you don't expect to learn as much as you may about PVF or something of that nature, but you end up soaking it up through the years, and it's extremely valuable information. So it's definitely something you will appreciate for many, many years to come, if not the rest of your life. So definitely some great points made there. Okay. Um, I have badgered you now for quite some time. You've gave me some great questions. I think we have some really good questions that we have talked through. I wanted to thank you once again for taking the time and coming with us here on Coffee or Tea, the Young Executive Society interview series. Once again, this is Diana DiCarlo, BSL Stream Lead at Groupe de Chêne. My name is Matt Cameron, Marketing Supervisor at Desco Plumbing and Heating Supply. This has been another Coffee or Tea interview series. And Diana, to finish us out, very last question, coffee or tea?
100% coffee, preferably intravenously.
All right, I love it. Thank you again, Diana.
Thank you. It was my honor, and hopefully I can inspire more. And if anyone wants to reach out to me personally, please just let CIPH know, and I am happy to. Just so you know, I also participate in CIPH in many, many uh, um, parts. I'm on the board there, so if there's questions about growing within CIPH as well, seeing that you're all young executive society as well, let me know and I can help and push you in a direction. I'm happy to do so.
Fantastic. Awesome. All right. Have yourself a great day, Diana. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. See you guys.
More questions. Thank you.